Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So
My name is Tommy Springfield.
And I'm better than you!
And what I do here is I just show you the facts and I give you my opinions on them. However you twist that, however you take it, or if you get mad, that's on you. But if you like how I do it, please click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I drop one of these videos. But before we get into today's video, please
allow me to reintroduce myself.
I like to think of myself as a superhero, but the ghetto version. Like Batman, but I'm Batman. I live in a Bat cave, I drive a Batmobile, and I'm still that nigga. So as you can see on the screen, we got Sunny Hostin, the big mouth girl from the show The View. She got a big old mouth and she's always talking shit about Donald Trump and she's always begging for reparations because apparently she thinks she's black. She's begging for reparations. Well, how about if I told you she found out her family was slave owners, and guess what? Slave owners gotta pay reparations, so you can't get them, you gotta pay them. But let's see if she feels different after finding out you're a slave owner. She still wants reparations because she's that dumb. She don't understand. Now you gotta pay, silly Billy. Let's get into it.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's...
Now, you from Spain. Let me explain to you Spain's and Spanish people, right? So there was an African king, I think his name was Khan, and he and his soldiers raided Spain and raped and privileged all the women. And that's how you got a Puerto Rican. An African and a Spaniard made a Puerto Rican. But you're not Puerto Rican. You are a slave owner. Let's get that right.
It's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information.
Of course it's great for your kids to know y'all were slave owners, that you were part of the 1%, and all this time you've been fronting, faking, and on TV begging for reparations where you need to pay these shits.
I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
We're starting a little differently this morning. Sunny.
So now we're going to slide into the day after, and let's see how she feel, because asking for reparations when you think you're old is one thing, but when you find out that you actually would have to pay, let's see how she feels.
You were just on an episode of Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates Jr.
Was.
Yeah.
And he gave me some surprising revelations about my family.
She looks real humble. Every time she gotta admit she wrong or apologize, she's the most humblest, ugliest bitch I know. I cannot stand her.
Family history. I was really reluctant. I don't know how you felt when you did it, Whoopi, but I was really reluctant to do it because I just sensed that there could be something in my family history that...
Of course you sent it. You talk about reparations all the time. You was trying to get rid of the guilt. You knew what that shit was gonna say. That's why you didn't want to do it. You knew you felt guilty in your body. That's why you talk reparations. I have a thing where I say, our souls know. Your soul knows. That's why you're always talking about reparations, because you owe them shits, bro. Get out of here.
It would be disappointing.
Negative.
Negative, yes. I thought I was going to have that kind of moment. And Skip had asked me to do it for a long time. And I finally decided to do it because I thought it'd be helpful for my children and my children's children to know what their real history was, But what I found out was that my mother's family
while
Let me tell you something to all you people worried about your past. Your history is tomorrow. You feel me? Your history is what you build now. Everything up until that point means nothing. You never was a slave, your mama wasn't a slave, and your grandmother probably wasn't a slave because y'all all now 30 years old. In the black community, grandmother's just young as hell nowadays, but y'all not from descendants of slaves. Stop the bullshit. You was already here before the white folks came. Stop believing those stories they tell you to disenfranchise you.
They are Puerto Rican. They actually originate from Spain. And the reason that they moved to Puerto Rico is because the slave trade had been sort of canceled in Spain and then Curacao, and then they moved all of their slaves to Puerto Rico. And so the family business, I had been told that they were printers and journalists, but they were in fact enslavers.
Right, your family are slavers and you know it. Look at you trying to look smug and humble, but you really just a bum, sorry ass bitch that run around here with a big ass mouth and be talking about shit you don't have a clue about. Now pay us our money, cause you talk about reparations. Family and descendants of slave owners have to pay.
And my mother, so
hush fell over the
it was
audience.
deeply disappointing. And it's deeply disappointing because my mother really identified as Puerto Rican. She was part of the civil rights.
Of course she was identified as a Puerto Rican. She was trying to get rid of that Spain part. She was trying to get rid of that slave history.
Movement. And she was deeply ingrained in Black culture, and identified herself as Black for race, but Hispanic for ethnicity.
Okay.
But her race is white.
So she identified as Black, but played like she was Spanish, but she really from Spain. Yeah, fake bitch running your family. You part of a fake bitch family, and y'all all the fakest bitches I know.
She's European.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird because when you look at her, my mother's blonde and she has light eyes, and my whole family looks like that. So I think inside I sort of knew.
Right, so stop saying you Black. You not Black at all. You just want to be part of us. You can't. You a mutt. You don't have no identity. I call you type of people nondescript. Y'all don't have no identity. That part.
That this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. And I spoke to my mom about it. She was deeply disappointed. She actually cried about it. And then she said, maybe that's why I have been so connected to Black culture, because it's an atonement in my spirit. And
Right. That's why you talking about reparations for exactly what your people said. Y'all want to atone. Y'all want to be forgiven. Your spirit. What I tell y'all prior to her saying that? And I never even said that. People's spirits know. She knew. That's why she always talk about reparation, because her spirit won't let her rest, because she's a piece of shit.
I received that. I also found out that, and there were slaves on both sides of her family, mothers and fathers, but we are 7% indigenous Puerto Rican, Taino.
7%. You're not Puerto Rican. Stop it. You just said you identify as Black, and I'm Puerto Rican, but I'm from Spain, but she's white. Y'all so much. Y'all don't know what y'all are. Just like you sit on this show every day and you don't know who you are, what you are, and what you talking about. That part.
Oh, I'm proud of that. And then I also found out about my father's family. His family, all slaves, then sharecroppers. But once they got their freedom, one of my ancestors, his name is Dean Cummings, and we use, my maiden name is Cummings.
So, your mother's side of the family was slave owners. Your father's side was slaves. And they was fucking the slaves. Your mother's side of the family was whores. They was having kids with the slaves. Okay, we wrapped that up.
And we use the name Dean in our family. A lot of cousins are named Dean. I have this book of life. Thank you, Skip.
Yeah.
And she said they use different names, because, they pieces of shit scumbags and they trying to disconnect. I know. I'll translate for y'all. Don't worry. I know what she's saying.
Very thick. I have an ancestor, my third great grandfather immediately registered to vote, even though he was illiterate. And he voted with an X, Dean Cummings with an X. And then he was threatened with lynching by the KKK, by others in the South, and he voted the next year.
You know she lying, right? Because if you're slave owners, why, if you're from descendants of slave owners, why would people be trying to lynch you? You're a slave owner. You cool. It's okay. Stop it.
And the next year, and the next year, and the next year. So he voted 9 times with the threat of lynching. And, you know, they say in Puerto Rico, the blood calls you. And voting is so important to me. You know, you guys.
You not from Puerto Rico. You're not Puerto Rican. You're not. Stop it. You're 7%. Stop it. You're not Puerto Rican. Stop.
Just know I go to voter drives. I drive seniors to voting polls. I've never missed a vote. My family thinks it's crazy. I'll vote for anything. Local something, constable, I'm there.
Well, please, be the first person to vote for you getting the fuck out of there. Be the first person to vote for you to get the fuck off the show. Be the first person to vote for you to never, ever, 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 ever be on goddamn TV again. How about that? That part.
And I think I get that from my ancestors. I really do. I think you carry your ancestors with you.
Yeah, you carry your slave owners with you. That's why you think you the shit. That's why you think you better than what you are when you really just a funky crotch, ugly ass bum shit.
So it was really eye-opening. So there were good things, there were not so good things. I also found out that on my father's side, the grandfather that I thought I had was not my grandfather. Oh, wow. There was another person.
Yeah, grandma was a whore, just like you. It runs in the family. I'm just translating for y'all for what she's actually saying, folks.
And so we are establishing a relationship with that family, and I have 5 uncles and aunts that I didn't know about. And so that's kind of cool that my kids now, and my father has 5 siblings that he didn't know about. And he's the eldest. So that's I thought that was great. And the last reveal is that...
Is it who you're related to?
Yes, I have a cousin too, Whoopi. Anthony Ramos from Hamilton.
Oh! He's cute.
Isn't he cute? He is my cousin, and I reached out to him, and it's kind of cool because he was the youngest actor in the original Broadway play of Hamilton, and he is multi-talented. And I've interviewed him before, but I didn't know we were cousins. I interviewed him for the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
You are not cousins. Please stop it. You 7% Puerto Rican. You don't know that man. That man don't know you, and y'all are not related. Why do y'all believe these fake tests and these fake shows? I don't get it.
I hope that they still let me host the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Well, you have a little bit still left in there, right? Is there no Puerto Rican in there at all?
No, I have 7%. 7% indigenous, but the thing about Puerto Rico is Puerto Ricans are Spanish, they're Native American, and they're African.
Right.
And
now she's trying to explain to you dummies who gonna follow her. No, I am Puerto Rican. We're just mixed. No, you've been lying. You don't know what you are. You are a mutt and a smut and a slut.
so my family just happens to have more of the
Manny, how does this change you, though? You mentioned your mom was upset and this was shocking, and maybe deep down you kind of resisted it. How has this changed you, knowing what you're hearing now?
You know, I think at first I was deeply disappointed.
The slave thing is a bummer.
It's a bummer. I
can't control it.
I still believe,
I know, but
I still
still,
believe in
it's like,
reparations, by the way, so y'all can stop texting me and emailing me and saying that I'm a white girl and that I don't deserve reparations.
You don't. You're not black. You were slave owners. You're a descendant of slave owners. So you would be disqualified from reparations, shorty. You would have to pay. And allegedly, you're making millions of dollars. So you would have to pay reparations. So if I was you, I would shut up about reparations.
I still believe that.
Someone did that too?
I don't know who sent her a thing telling her she was a white girl.
Okay, it's too much, people.
But clean off your television screen.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I still believe in reparations. I still believe this country has a lot to do in terms of racial justice. But what I will say, Sarah, to your question is that I feel that I'm enriched by knowing that history. I'm enriched, and I'm enriched by knowing that my family has come so far from being enslavers to my mother marrying my father in 1968.
Well, yeah, that's right.
I feel enriched.
Yeah, you feel enriched by being you were part of the 1% back then. And right now, you are part of the successful group because I think you're making millions of dollars. I don't know why you would be making millions of dollars, but one thing we know about Hollywood, you get into your past, you get into your history. So yes, you were slave owners. You are in with the in group. Stop trying to disconnect yourself. Stop trying to make it sound good. But you know what I do over here? If you like how I do it, please hit that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I drop one of these videos. If you're a supporter of the channel, much love and respect goes out to you. I salute. And if you're one of these haters and race baiters and slave owners trying to disconnect like Sonny Hostin, cut this shit. That part.